Hello and welcome back. This is episode 3 of the TNA Talks, and I'm welcoming Andrew Heneghan today, who is the head of European sales, EU sales at andgo Systems. Good to talk to you, Andrew. Hope you're doing well, mate.
Thanks for having me, Barry. It's a pleasure.
No problem at all. So to dive deep in, obviously this is a talk all about the Danish market and things relevant to the Danish market. So let's dive straight in and sort of hear about how you ended up in Denmark as a Canadian.
Yeah, so I'd been living in Vancouver for 10 years prior to moving to Denmark, and had traveled a little bit in Europe and really just was inspired by the way of life and some of the places that I visited. Eventually, I visited one of my friends in Copenhagen and just immediately fell in love with the city, the bicycle culture, architecture, arts, people. Yeah, I was totally inspired and decided to make the move a year after.
Okay. And visa-wise then, how did you manage to get yourself a visa for the Nordics, which is notoriously quite difficult?
Yeah, so thankfully, through my grandfather, who is an Irish citizen, I was able to get my Irish citizenship. So about a year prior to moving, I received my passport, and then everything has just been so much smoother because of that. So grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that helps. And what about the company andgo Systems then? How did you end up joining them? Because you're not obviously, as your job title suggests, you're not the founder of the company.
No, so I went to Saskatoon, which is the city where andgo is HQ'd and founded, and I was at a wedding in summer 2019. And Tom, the CEO, is family with my good friend Samantha's. Yeah, so the wedding I was attending, and we met, got along well, stayed in touch, and then eventually saw an opening where we thought that this product was relevant in Canada, relevant in North America. Let's see what's happening in Europe.
So tell me a little bit more about andgo then. So who are they for, and what does the product do?
So a quick description of andgo is that we automate absence management and optimize workforce communications. So in essence, we simplify the process of filling vacant shifts, planning vacations, organizing employee communications, particularly for large organizations with complex scheduling environments. Who that is hospitals, healthcare regions, nursing homes, manufacturers, logistics companies, and others that experience a lot of unplanned absences. We currently have over 140,000 users, but we're expanding quickly.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. And you mentioned healthcare there, which is obviously an area of focus at the moment. How's that going for the company? Is that sort of the main growth vertical?
That has been the foundation of the company. So from day one, we've worked with the large healthcare region in Saskatchewan, where the company is founded, and we've found a really good fit for the pains we solve. So there's a lot of unplanned absences and complexity in the healthcare vertical. For example, you need to have the right certifications, the right union regulations considered with any shift that is filled. So it's been going really well, but like you said, it's a long sales cycle. So we really try and connect broadly with healthcare regions throughout North America, Europe, to find those organizations that really need the support that we provide.
Yeah, and how's things going in Denmark then? Because obviously, particularly in Europe, there's obviously long, sales cycles and long, procurement cycles and things like that. So how's the conversations been going in Denmark so far?
Yeah, so far we've made some really interesting inroads into the Danish healthcare market and public sector in general. We've been really lucky to connect with a consultant on the ground here who specializes specifically in scheduling optimization. So that's been really interesting in connecting us with the right people and the right organizations in the Danish market, the Swedish market, and even a little bit beyond that.
Fantastic. How did you find that mentor? Maybe that's something interesting for the audience. How do you go about finding a mentor when you're new to a country like Denmark?
Yeah, so a piece of advice I would give to any Canadian firm that is planning to expand globally would be to connect with the Canadian Trade Commission early on. So they're a team of regionally connected experts with their core goal of helping Canadian companies succeed. So we didn't know too much about the Canadian Trade Commission, but they came up as we were pursuing an export grant through the Canadian government. And we've connected with them, and they've not only introed us, for example, to this industry specific consultant, but they've also helped us in securing grants with joining industry organizations such as Tech Nordic Advocates, connecting with clients. So they're a hugely valuable resource. And I just want to say thank you to Reynolds Lauer in Saskatoon, Jakob Schmidt in Denmark, and Uffe Galsgaard in Stockholm, who've been hugely helpful in our process.
Yeah, fantastic. And what about, obviously COVID and looking forward to, 2021? Has the business, obviously you joined kind of quite early on in the COVID situation, but how's the business been affected? I mean, working in healthcare, I guess you've been quite busy, but how do you see things panning out in 2021?
Yeah, so overall, COVID, we've really lucky to work with tools that have been beneficial during this time. So particularly with our healthcare clients, they've really leaned into some of our tools, whether it's bringing in additional staff during hospital crunch times, or communicating COVID related updates to the organizations, or simply continuing to fill shifts with the right people if someone falls ill. In regards to 2021, so our CEO, Tom Ross, is pursuing our first round of funding in Canada. And we're really hoping to leverage this funding to scale the company more effectively. So this means we're going to build out our sales and marketing teams, build out our product teams, and just furthermore connecting with clients across Europe, North America, and the globe.
Yeah, and that's Series A, is it?
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
You mentioned before. Yeah, okay, so that's just good to clarify in case there's any investors watching. And
yes,
with regards to Denmark and the Nordics, I mean, is there any additional help that you sort of feel like you need, or things that you've observed that you think may be missing? What kind of comments you have on that point?
Yeah, so essentially we're always looking for opportunities for exposure and networking. Because we're new to this market, most people don't know us. So whether it's interviews such as this, or attending events, direct connection to HR execs are excellent, or simply links to great people. There's a
interesting. Thank you ever so much for your time. It's been really good to chat and learn a lot more about Canadian-Danish relations, and interesting to hear about andgo systems as well. So it sounds like it solves a very important problem. There's a lot of issues around in the HR and scheduling and staffing. So I think it's it sounds like a really interesting tool. So good luck to you and the company, and thanks ever so much for your time. And hopefully we'll catch up with you again in the future and hear how things are going.
Thank you so much, Barry, and looking forward to meeting you in person.
Yeah, one day.
Just behind the screen. So have a wonderful week.
Thank you. You too, man. Take care. Cheers. Bye.
Take care.